I've read that you've got in touch with martial arts due to your brother. What was the moment you realized you will make your living with fighting?
Mm. I mean, 10 years old, I saw the first pay-per-view live. My best friend had Black Belt magazine, and they had the article, and it was like, bare knuckle, basically. They put all the things that
Yeah,
nowadays they don't put because they don't want to scare people away, but it was kind of like, oh, this is crazy. It's going to be a sideshow. Maybe people can die. And we convinced his dad. We were only 10 years old, man, and we convinced his dad it was like, a karate or a martial arts event. And
yeah,
his dad, ordered it for us. And in the beginning, the first fight is Taylor Tooley getting his face,
yeah, yeah,
kicked and punched in. There's two flies out. There's blood dripping out of his eyeballs, and I'm just like, you're freaking out, like, oh my God, we're actually gonna see someone die. This is insane. Like I was probably covering my eyes a little bit, like looking through my fingers, like, is this really happening? And then by the end of it, seeing Hoist Gracie pull it off, man, in such a impressive way. Like him versus Ken Shamrock, we were like, oh my God, this guy's
yeah.
jacked. This guy's gonna crush him. And then, like I said, by the end of it, I looked at my friend. I said, "This is what." He looked at me and he was like, "You're crazy, man." I was like, "Nope, that's exactly what I want to do." And it pretty much started there as far as the dream.
Yeah.
But obviously, 10 years old to 21 years old when I actually had my first fight was a crazy ride.
Yeah, I guess. And what did your family say, or what did your family think about your new job as a fighter?
mm, they did not like it at all. In fact, I didn't really. I lied to my dad and told my dad when I graduated high school at 18. I told my dad, "Oh, I'm going to go to Orlando to go to college." But in fact, Orlando had the only MMA gym in Florida
Ah,
at the
okay.
time under Dean Thomas. So I had I had my brother and my sister up at in Orlando at college too. So my dad was like, "Oh, this is perfect. I'll have all my kids in the same spot."
Cool.
Being a parent, you're thinking
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
going to be easier. I'll know they'll all be safe because they'll be able to at least communicate with each other. And no, I just went out there. I went to a few classes, but then I'm like. I'm in class just thinking of moves in my head, like I would rather be training right now
Yeah.
than be learning all of this. So that needless to say, that didn't last too long. Uh, I had financial aid while I was in college, but I kind of played the stupid game, and it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So instead of getting financial aid, I had to suck it up, come in, get a real-time job while training full-time. So basically working almost two full-time jobs because training is pretty much that. And I just looked at my training as that's my college,
Okay.
and my resume is going to be my fight career.
Cool. And in my eyes, you're one of the fighters. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. The fight is going to be a blast. Um, what do you think? Is it more important to have a clean record these days, or to just put on a show, a good show?
You need both.
Yeah.
That's what's so hard is there's the fine line. There needs to be both. You can't be exciting as hell and lose.
Yeah.
Not consistently. You know, realistically, yeah, I fight for the fans and to be exciting, but above all, like I fight for statistics. Statistics pave the road. Like if I'm finishing fights and my statistics are on point,
Yeah.
how could it not be exciting? If I'm winning by some kind of finish, that's the statistics I really want to keep up. So,
Yeah.
I try to stay on point with my statistics, and usually everything else works out.
Yeah. Talking about good finishing. History was made last time. And first that runs through my mind. A good friend was talking to me, and he saw your omoplata. The first thing he told me is that Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo will chiss their pants because of that finishing. Being the first guy who ever finished an opponent via omoplata in the UFC, what do you say? How was the feeling when your opponent tapped out?
Man, it was great, and it wasn't just because it was an omoplata. It was just because to win so convincingly and so quickly.
Yeah.
It's always nice to get in and out of there without having to take much damage. But yeah, having Eddie in my corner, I think the world got to see his reaction, and it was pretty much the exact same as mine. I think we didn't know man. There was so many emotions and feelings going on all at once. We didn't really know which one to show. He kind of looked like, yeah, it was just, I don't know, man. He had a great one. Mine was are we smiling? We laughing? We crying? We screaming out of being excited or just for the win in general? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell do we do, man? I don't even know. How about all at once? All at once, we'll make it happen. But it was definitely amazing.
Yeah, it's a nice comeback. So you paid your dues.
Yeah, yeah.
When the UFC knocked on your door again, did you expect them to call? Did you have something in your stomach or something? Some feelings that they will call you?
I mean, they knew. I kept in touch with Joe Silva. Hell, I even kept in touch with him pretty much the entire time I was with Bellator.
Okay.
My whole purpose was, we texted back and forth and stayed in touch. My purpose in life since I was a kid was to fight for the UFC.
Yeah.
I guess I for sure thank Bellator for the experience that I got and everything, but staying with them was never my dream and never really part of it. In fact, they weren't even around. Bellator didn't even exist while I was even really in the UFC and coming up, at least the Ultimate Fighter. Bellator wasn't even around, so it was like, I felt if anything, the UFC helped create me as well. So. It was definitely a goal to get back to it. And as far as how it all, came about, it was pretty much, I've been training since January. I've been helping my teammates since, February, getting ready in their fights and it can be very depressing and frustrating a little bit to be able to help these high-end athletes prepare for their fights, but you're not getting them. And, I was trying to fight in the end of March, April, May, then it got pushed back to June, then it got pushed back to August, and I'm like, this is what I do for a living, man. I'm not making a living right now. What's going on? And, finally we had the title fight that was supposed to happen with Matt Riddle for Titan, and, he ended up getting injured, and that ended up being another cluster of a mess that, we just, as fighters, man, that's the fight game. You just got to push through it, stay focused. That's what I did. They kept trying to find people to take his place, and it would seem like nobody wanted to step up and take the challenge. They got Pele out in Brazil to take the challenge. I have so much respect for him. That dude's a damn legend. So that was an absolute honor. But out in Brazil, they had visa issues. So that fight wasn't even going to happen. Yeah. So now I'm like, how many training camps do I got to do where the fights keep falling through? I'm spending all this money on the camps and nothing's really happening. Yeah. And I hit up Joe Silva. They had an issue with the card that I was just fighting on. Of like people getting injured and whatnot. So I'm like, yo, if you need a late replacement, what's up? Like just hitting them up, letting them know, yo, I'm still here, I'm still alive. I'm still looking to bang inside the octagon, and they usually, I don't think there might be one other fighter maybe in like UFC history, and I don't even know who it is or what the circumstances behind that are, but they don't pick people up off a loss. Yeah. And I think that's crazy testament a little bit to I guess how they feel about me as a fighter, because if they're going to bring me in coming off a loss, that means that they know I bring something to the table, and more than anything, I'm very happy I was able to go out there and kind of prove that it wasn't a bad decision.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you are back. You have been in Germany at UFC 99 in Cologne. Do you remember?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. It was a bad.
Yeah.
It was a pretty bad experience. That was one of those that I was undefeated at the time.
Yeah.
I was young. It was a big step up in the competition. I had some things go wrong. Leading into the camp, and we thought we could just kind of work through it.
Okay.
That did not end up being the case, and yeah, it ended up being a pretty crappy experience. Leading into that, man, I mean, once again, I was coming off my Brandon Wolf extravaganza, if you will, my breakout party, so like there was a lot of hype behind me. I was originally supposed to fight Dustin Hazlett. He blew his ACL out, so then they got me a replacement, and then I shattered my big toe in 5 spots. It kind of looked like the Monster Energy drink sign, like the M. Like literally, it's my toe spelt out the Monster Energy drink M. It was shattered in 5 spots. It was freaking crazy. Then I went to the UFC fights in Tampa. I actually did the UFC Q&A out there, and while I was walking to my seat, there was a fan that was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And I'm like, "Oh, absolutely." And then when I went to like step towards them, I guess the gate near the UFC, I jammed my toe again and shattered it again in 5 spots. So it was a long time before I could even walk again. There's just a lot of bad things, but hats off to Mike Swick, man, for always coming in, always getting the job done. At the end of the day, I just wanted to be some kind of an exciting fight, and it didn't seem like it was going all that well on both our ends. I think there were also maybe a fight or two before that kind of pissed the crowd off, and the crowd was a little antsy. So I'm glad that whether the finish was me or the finish was him, man, the crowd got the show, and the crowd ended up getting excited and going nuts. And I didn't take much damage. I stood immediately back up with a smile on my face, like, damn, I can't believe it. But it's a good time. I enjoyed my time out in Germany for sure.
Good to know. Good to know. So now that you're back in the UFC, who's on your list you would love to fight in your weight class? Are there any people, top 3?
Nah, they're all there, man. They're all there. The entire division's stacked, man. And from the last time I was here, it's pretty changed.
Yeah.
There's it's not the exact same roster. So we got some young bloods, we got some new guys, we got some veterans. But above all, man, I think the entire division seems stacked with a lot of guys wanting to put on shows and wanting to be exciting. So I think a matchup with any of them is going to be great for the fans, great for my career.
Sure. And what are your plans for the future right now? Are there any upcoming fights right now, or is it too early?
Honestly, man, I just wanted to take a week off, just because of all the training, and I felt like I was on the damn Ultimate Fighter. It was like, you never know when you're going to fight, the day you're going to fight, when you got to wait, who you're going against. It was just, no, we're just going to train, and whatever gets thrown at us is pretty much what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And that definitely takes its toll as far as being a little stressful. So I just wanted to take a week off, let my body relax, let my brain and everything just relax from all the craziness that's kind of been building up leading into the fight. And we're about at that right now. So come Monday, I'm going to start. I'll start training again, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, perfect. So the last question, it's a personal one. Everyone has his bad habits. Is it in training or living or eating? What are your bad habits?
I'd say my biggest bad habit might be sometimes I'm a night owl. It's hard for me. Sometimes it's hard for me to just go to sleep. So sometimes I probably stay up a little later than I should.
Okay. Yeah, but
it's not necessarily. I mean, I fight at night, so realistically, I'm always close to the same time frame.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like if I had to wake up, if I was the guy that was waking up at 6 a.m. to go running and blah, 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 it's kind of like, well, man, I'm not fighting until like, 8 or 10 o'clock at night. So that means that if I was getting up at that and I got my biological clock clicking
sure.
at that time, I'm going to have to take a nap or something in the middle of the day in order to be prepared to fight later on. But yeah, other than that, man, I think I'm very disciplined, very focused. Basically the martial arts mentality, true and true, man. I give everything everything I do is for my career, for the martial arts, and to basically better myself and improve.
And that's what pays out. So
yeah. Limited time. We got a limited time to make something happen in this sport, So I'm not here to waste any time.
That's it. So thank you very, very much. And I would love to give you the last words if you want to.
I definitely want to thank all my fans, especially all the fans out in Germany, for all the support. I want to thank Box House. Awesome gear. Everybody out there should definitely check them out. If you guys want to hit me up and follow me on social media, you can actually go to my website, and on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see it all at bensaundersmma.com. Or if it's easier, my Instagram and my Twitter is at bensaundersmma, and my Facebook is facebook.com/IamBenSaunders.